I'm Brian Christner, and this is The Byte, a bite-sized podcast about containers, cloud, and tech.
Welcome, Tommy, back to the Byte podcast. Tommy Back is the founder of Blockchain Source. He's also the founder of CryptoCamper. And Tommy and I know each other from previous working together at Source Capital. So welcome, Tommy, back to the show today.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Tommy, and your current roles, and basically take us like on a path of where you started and how you became like a founder of Blockchain Source and your background in crypto a little bit, and just give us a bit of details about Tommy.
Yes, sure. So, we both live here now in Switzerland. As you already mentioned, we used to work together at Source. That's already now like 10 years ago or something like that, soon.
Yep.
Yes, I'm a Finn. Moved here 13 years ago and always been in tech. So I came from telco into finance and trading. And after that, that's now we're in like 2010, 2013, and also started to know about crypto, Bitcoin. And then I decided also it's time to, go on my own and do something. I'm not looking for employment or staying employed. So that was around the time where, 2013, I decided, okay, it's time to do something totally different. And it was also really good timing because I'm currently also married with kids. Got our first son back then in 13, and just needed time to see where to go. And then one thing led to the other. I was in the crypto space for then 1 year in a startup, really the first crypto valley type of setup that started to come here to Zug. And basically then slowly that was moving myself more and more into being an entrepreneur, and also the crypto space and let's say blockchain space was much more getting recognized, and more people, more companies. I mean, still very small, and really the first companies that started to want to explore something, and even big ones. And we got then me and my business partner back then, we got the first big company that wanted to do something. That was a big energy company here in Switzerland, Axpo, wanted to explore, and then one thing led to the other. We've been doing blockchain proof of concepts and platforms from 2016 then onwards, with also Ernst & Young here in Switzerland and so on. And basically then, so I've been, I've seen the whole industry grow out and all the ICO craze. I didn't, care too much about that myself because that was pretty obvious what's going on. But really like exploring a new technology, and one thing led to the other. I'm more interested in topics like new technologies, how you can productize that, and go to. I have a friend coming in here.
A visitor, the COVID world, right?
The COVID world, yeah.
Working from home remotely. It's just how it goes.
But really it's about exploring new technologies, and that was also why I was interested in crypto. How can you build a new world, basically, and what can you do with that? What kind of systems can you explore? And that was really what we wanted to do, consulting and advising companies, startups, big corporations back in 16, 17, 18, and since then I moved more and more into product, and I've been the last 2.5 years focusing solely on one startup where I've also been involved as a co-founder. It's called Now. Very bold plan to build a new marketplace for the offline connecting with online and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, really about technology as a tool, as a means, different things, how you can actually apply that in a meaningful way to create value for users, for businesses, and for the world, basically.
I mean, you were actually in Crypto Valley. So we live in Crypto Valley, so to say. And I mean, you were like really early on in this whole crypto world, I guess. And I mean, you're at the center of this entire crypto world, is like right in our backyard. So it's always great talking to you because you have like the real insight of what's going on and what companies are doing what. And so it's quite exciting that you were involved so early in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I must say at the same time, like the last few years, I'm not that involved in on the broad scale to see there was a lot of things happening in let's say 17 moving into 18, and it's gone from basically one company where I worked here in 2014 to now I don't know hundreds and hundreds of companies here in Zug and so many different people and businesses. So I'm not really trying to even keep up, but it's really nice to be here, and there are cool things happening, and big names, a lot of very cool, very ambitious projects and things like that, and that's very exciting. And but yeah, I mean, crypto is very special, and also blockchain in general. I mean, the use cases are not really like waiting for that to be available. There are clearly payments and decentralizing a lot of things, but
Yeah.
still the let's say the legacy world where we live, there are other things that are blocking. It's on the legal side, and it's of course on the economic and the political scene where most innovation actually would need to happen. And the question is, how much can you do, let's say, bottom up, coming with technology and disrupt things? Because in the end, you're not coming with a weapon because they have the tank.
Exactly.
That's a bit also what we're seeing now. You mentioned COVID, and things have changed. Things are changing, and yeah, let's see. I mean, slowly maybe we can move into a better world.
So let's quickly talk about COVID, and I mean, it's the world we live in at the moment. I mean, how has it impacted you as a person as well as your business and your view in the next year or two is going forward?
Yeah, it's a super interesting topic, and I'm also very interested in basically what the world is doing on a big scale, and how things are going and where things are moving, and so on. Talk a lot about it, people like yourself and others, these kind of topics. And yeah, I think like just quickly about in general, I think a lot of people, if not everybody, got interrupted what they were doing and realized a lot of things, what's wrong maybe, or what's happening in the world, how broken a lot of things are, not just globally, but maybe also within organizations. That doesn't matter, but that especially politics and the world, and how easily we can kind of crash and get into really big trouble. And we have, in my view at least, we're just in the beginnings of coming more and more maybe into the aftermath of also a new world of realizing we have this kind of let's say enemy or things that can happen. And then we have the economic side, and of course there are people involved, and a lot of pain and problems. For myself, I mean, let's say all the pain and problems aside, I mean, it didn't really affect me. I mean, we're both in jobs where you can easily work remote. You can easily, with the right tooling, we're anyway up to speed with that. So we have the right tools. You can easily switch and change. And I told my team already before Switzerland shut down that let's work from home from now on. That was early March. And then, the government indeed a week later or something like that, it was pretty clear bit by bit we're moving into a different setup. And for me personally, yeah, it was actually much better. As a person, I enjoy more, having flexibility. It's basically freedom and responsibility, and working a lot, but I have a family, and working from home, working from however I want, and not having expectations to be somewhere or other things. That was really helpful. And also I don't need people that much. I like to work a lot with people and collaborate, but it's not that I want to stand in the middle of people and constantly get energized from that. So that was a good thing. And I think that was an insight for many people to, see that you can actually live in another way and so on. Business-wise, also, it's not really impacting. I mean, we're in a space where, I mean, I'm doing consulting as well, and the project I was involved in was moving ahead and things like that. So, but obviously, we can talk a long time. Maybe we should do another podcast
about COVID and how to run a business in the COVID world.
Things. I mean, really, it really changed the world in a big way. In a quickly, a lot of things happened. A lot of people realized that actually the things you have been talking about for 20 years or whatever, I don't remember, like all of a sudden the whole university, all schools were online, and before that it would have probably taken like 50 years
Yeah.
to slowly get there. Yeah.
You've seen this comic where it shows like it's like a board member meeting and all the board members are sitting there. It's like, what's led your digital transformation? It's like, cloud, this, and it's COVID. It's COVID. So it's really like energizing a lot of companies as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's really for me exciting. It's exactly like that. That you need some force or pain or something to really change, and it's a lot of big legacy organizations. It's difficult because it's not it's about pain, it's change management, transforming, and I think now a big opportunity for us as well that are very passionate about how to apply digital technology and improve things. There's so many opportunities now. I think people are slowly going to wake up, and there's a lot of business, businesses right now, building out that what's needed. But I think the aftermath and going forward, there's going to be even more, let's say, less friction to actually realize that let's just do these kind of projects. Let's do these kind of products. Let's it's the right thing. Yeah.
So I mean, we're both aligned in this. We're very much work-life oriented. I mean, I enjoy spending time with my family. You're the same, so much to the point that you bought a camper and you just drove to Finland and you spent the whole summer in Finland, basically, which I'm looking outside right now. It's so hot out. We should be outside. But so tell us about your trip. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And you also ran your business through your camper, basically. So while you're on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. So that it's an interesting thing. I mean, we have two boys and we have a dog, and we were active, like nature and all that. So I've been looking at a camper even before COVID, and then it was COVID happened, and it was just the whole world basically also realized that we can't go jetting around the world. And for us, it was obvious. Let's now just do what we want to do. We go and jump in the camper. We have everything with, like you said, you can do business. You have family there. You have the food there. You have everything there, and you can easily hear. I mean, we love driving, and you're like complete freedom to have a camper, especially going north. We can talk more about that, but it's really like going from Switzerland through Germany. We did. The Nordics, you have a lot of space. It's very, very easy to get around with the camper, and good roads, good everything. And because of COVID, we decided let's take a longer route this time. Usually it's like 2,500 when you drive to Finland, where I come from. And so we drove something a little bit more than 4,000 one way.
Yep.
And that was just because we didn't want to mingle with people extra, because we were also going to visit and stay with my parents, and they're also in the risk group and so on. So we just drove the whole way and just explored nature on our own, and so that was really, really amazing. And then, like you said, we stayed the whole summer. We were maybe like 1 month at my parents' place, and that's countryside, and then 2 more weeks on the road, and it's just amazing. And I think that's like what's going to be available now going forward for a lot of people to realize that, hey, we don't need to go to the other side of the world, like maximize like the distance to have an experience. And especially I think in Switzerland, we're in such a location here that you don't need to drive much to be in amazing places, and then you can choose,
which is totally different.
Completely, exactly. And it's on the whole scale. You can it's history, it's people, no people, mountains, lakes, anything you want, and that's really amazing. And that's also why I think campers here is just that's a big future, a lot of opportunity there.
I mean, you really made me jealous posting these pictures on your Instagram, this beautiful camper on the lake, or different scenery in the background. Like, oh man, this is just brilliant. So I mean, you really enjoyed this so much so that you want to turn it into a business. Is that right? So you want to turn your camper into the crypto camper? Tell us about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really like combining different things. I mean, I love this. It's something I want to share with others. We also live in this kind of let's say sharing economy, sharing world. I mean, it doesn't make sense that the campus stands around. You can easily make money. You can make some other family or person happy by renting it out. And then the other thing is, because of crypto, I mean, we're in Crypto Valley. There's a lot of interesting opportunities there. So it's like combining these things, like, hey, why not just, do a side business here? I mean, it's not like, I don't know how well it's going to do, but, it's like, let's just combine it and see what happens and let other people enjoy this as well. I mean, it's not just for families. It's perfect for active outdoor families, but can be for anybody who wants to, say, spend a week, out, or work a little bit and hike a bit, or it's endless options. Yeah.
So I mean, you can rent the camper. So I can rent the camper. I mean, do you come as a driver, or how does that work? So you're like my Uber or camper driver? I sit in the back and drink beer while you're driving.
I guess we could. That would be an upselling option, I guess. Yeah, like your personal driver and butler. I can cook and organize and all that. Yeah, it could be an upselling option. It's a premium. Yeah, you really, you can rent it and you can pay with crypto. You can pay normal. I'm currently looking and exploring also what's the best channel to rent it. There are a few options, obviously Airbnb, and there's also where I have it right now is mycamper.ch. So absolutely, it's available right now to rent, and I'm gonna just keep that going, and I can talk more about that later. You can also rent it if you want to pay crypto. That's a bit the thing where I want to explore, also help adopt that, because if you take a step back a bit, obviously it's a new technology with cryptocurrencies, and there's a lot of details we don't need to go into now, but in order to make that work, so to say, for let's say Bitcoin, there needs to be things people want to consume. Yep. Otherwise, doesn't make sense, and vice versa. And I want to just see how can I, help that, especially here in Crypto Valley, because there is a lot of people with cryptos and people coming from abroad. Why not, spend a week with a camper while you're here? You can pay with crypto. Yep. It's fine. So that's a bit cool. the side there that I want to, help that crowd basically also to pay with crypto, help the ecosystem having more items that are interesting and very much aligned with what's happening in the world right now.
It's like a different use case, right? I mean, I don't think many people are renting campers with cryptos. I mean, it's like maybe the first one in this area.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you have indirections you can pay, and so on. But that's the thing I want to help. I have the connections to the ones having and trying to push the, let's say, point of sales or applications where you're paying with crypto and so on. And I know the exchanges, I know the brokers, so it's more like helping them or seeing what and making an easy way to pay with crypto for whoever wants to rent it, and try it out, basically, also test it for them. Yeah.
And you mentioned you're listing on Airbnb. I mean, I didn't realize Airbnb also had RVs. I mean, how'd the listing process go?
Yeah, so I currently have it both on Airbnb and there. I didn't actually either realize that they had it like natively RVs on campus, but they do. And I must say, it's not really catered to specifically. It looks like, like if you compare my camper and Airbnb is still, they have their weight where they are.
Exactly.
Actually, they had to pivot pretty much quite a lot recently. Also, that's a really interesting other topic. But they still have, the main thing and the onboarding and all that is very much the same. So it's not really catered to how I would like it to be if you would be renting out a camper, because there are different options. One is obviously, asking, as somebody renting, is it parked? Is it fixed? Can I drive it? What's the, you have this. Insurance topic, you have, other certain things, how many kilometers can you drive per day, and, all these other things. Sure. And then let's say optionals, you might want to have a GPS, you might want to have a baby seat, you might want to have this or that, there are these things that are not really applicable to, fixed
platforms. And
so that's better on my camper, obviously.
Because it's dedicated RVs. Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, so I can rent the camper, and I guess you'll provide the contact details where it's listed. So I'll put it in the show notes, and then also list out the Instagram crypto camper, because I mean that's going to just make everyone jealous. And yeah, so I mean it'd be really cool if you can convince the people using the camper to also like send pictures to the Instagram feed. So that would be, I know it'd be a challenging try to get it all organized, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, yeah, well, of course, provide all the details and also to whoever's listening and so on. I mean, initially there will also be some interesting early bird discount. So, just to get things going, of course. And there's still some really nice weather here in autumn. Hiking and exploring Switzerland and surroundings is just amazing. And I have a lot of cool places I can, tell people about. So happy to do that. Very happy. I've also been thinking about, how to, get a little bit like a small community thing around that and show pictures, because it's really, really amazing, what you can find and just show a nice picture of a moment and, like sunset there on the beach and, the table.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, it could also be like a team event. So, I mean, like a team can like rent it for like a weekend or something, go out in the mountains and, have a brainstorming session.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would also be an option. Yeah.
Totally. I think these are the new things, especially now with the world, which is realizing that, we're selling off headquarters and people can work from home and so on. So it's like teams or people or whoever, families that decide, hey, let's go for a weekend or a week even, and let's just enjoy nature. It's like perfect for work-life balance or your hobby to combine with working. I mean, you can work inside or outside the camper.
Exactly.
It's just amazing. Yeah.
And now we're in a connected world, so it's even easier to work from anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah.
Well, Tommy, I really appreciate talking to you today. And like I said, we'll put all the information in the show notes. And yeah, thanks, Tommy. You have any last words or want to say how people can get a hold of you, maybe?
I can provide the details there. Twitter, email, also calling, depends, So happy to give a great experience to anybody who wants to, let's say, take a step into the new world, work-life balance. Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Tommy.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Byte. You can find the show notes at thebyte.io and follow me on Twitter at I Do My Own Tricks.